Stop right there. Before you scroll any further, let me ask you something that might completely change the way you view the world. Do you truly believe that being kind keeps you protected? Do you think that compassion truly shields you, or that generosity actually earns devotion? Does honesty really guarantee respect? If your answer is yes to any of these, you are about to uncover the most dangerous illusion society has ever created. The greatest misconception people hold is thinking that goodness automatically means safety. But here's the harsh reality: goodness is not a shield, it is a flaw. It burns through everything you've meticulously built: your relationships, your career, your ambitions. Everything. Niccolò Machiavelli. Yes, Machiavelli understood this long ago. He watched virtuous leaders collapse. He saw gentle rulers crushed. He witnessed selfless people betrayed by those they trusted most, and he documented every bit of it. Today, I'm going to reveal his hidden truth to you, the shocking price of goodness that no one dares to mention. In the next few minutes, you will understand why your kindness might actually be weakening you. Why others don't value your generosity, they simply take advantage of it. And most importantly, how to transform your goodness from your greatest vulnerability into your strongest weapon. But first, let's get one thing straight. I'm not telling you to become cruel. I'm not suggesting you harm anyone. What I am showing you is how to be good with intention, not naivety. Because the truth is, in a world full of wolves, being a sheep only leads to your downfall. Now, I want you to write this affirmation in the comments: I choose strategic goodness. From this moment on, everything changes. You will no longer use goodness blindly. You will wield it with purpose. In this video, we are going to uncover why being good doesn't always protect you. In fact, it often ends up destroying you. And we will explore exactly how to turn it into a source of true power. Let's begin with the first shocking truth. Number 1, goodness as exposure. Think about the kindest person you know. Now ask yourself this: are they genuinely respected, or are they just the one everyone turns to when they need something? The truth is, being good often makes you exposed, not protected. When you are consistently kind, people begin to see you as predictable. They know you won't fight back. They know you won't say no. They realize they can take advantage of you because you're simply too nice to resist. You become the office pushover, the friend who always foots the bill, the family member who always agrees to help, even when it drains you. Let me tell you about someone I once knew. He was the most dedicated team manager I had ever met. He always supported his team, covered their mistakes, and put their needs above his own. Guess what happened? Someone else was promoted in his place. What? Because nice people rarely appear as leaders, they come across as followers. People don't truly value your kindness, they simply take advantage of it. Think about it. When someone is always available, their presence loses value. When someone never sets limits, others will constantly push past them. When someone never shows strength, people assume they have none. Your goodness becomes your weakness, because it signals to the world that you are easy to use. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot guard himself from wolves." One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to scare wolves. You have been trying to survive like a sheep in a world full of wolves, and that is exactly why you keep getting hurt. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I protect my energy. Number 2, the generosity trap. Here's something that will truly surprise you. The more you give, the less people appreciate it. I know it sounds strange, but stay with me. Generosity brings short-term applause. People praise you, compliment you, and tell everyone how amazing you are. It feels great, doesn't it? But over time, something dark begins to happen. Your giving nature creates dependency, entitlement, and eventually, resentment. Let me break it down. When you help someone once, they feel grateful. When you help them twice, they are still thankful. But when you help them 10 times, they start expecting it. Your extraordinary kindness becomes their new normal. And if you ever stop helping, they don't recall the 9 times you said yes. They only remember the 1 time you refused. Suddenly, you are the selfish one. You are the villain. Think about parents who constantly give their children everything they ask for. At first, the kids are thrilled and appreciative. But soon, the gifts lose their meaning. That new phone is not special anymore. It is just what mom and dad always do. And when the parents finally say no, The kids get angry and call them unfair. The same pattern appears in friendships. You are always the one picking up the tab at dinner. You are the one driving everyone around. You are the one helping people move. At first, your efforts are appreciated, but eventually the gratitude fades. They simply expect you to handle everything. And when you finally need a favor in return, they are suddenly too busy. This is the generosity trap. You give so much that giving becomes who you are. And the moment you pause or ask for something back, you instantly become the villain in everyone else's story. Your endless generosity doesn't build loyalty, it builds dependence. People become hooked on your kindness, and like any addiction, they get angry when it stops. Here's the psychological reason behind it. Humans experience something called hedonic adaptation. We adjust quickly to good things. What once felt special turns ordinary. What once seemed generous becomes expected. So, your repeated acts of kindness lose their impact over time, they become invisible. People stop noticing because they've normalized it. But the one time you say no, that stands out like a warning light. That is what they remember, that is what they talk about, that is what they complain about. This happens everywhere. At work, if you always stay late, staying late becomes just what you do. No one applauds it anymore. But leave on time once and suddenly you are seen as lazy or uncommitted. In relationships, if you are always the one compromising, compromise becomes assumed. But stand firm once and you are called difficult. Machiavelli once wrote, "Benefits ought to be conferred gradually so that they will be more fully appreciated." He understood something most people never grasp. Scarcity creates value, while abundance destroys it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I give strategically. Number 3, the mask of virtue. Here is a truth that might make you uneasy. Society values appearances more than reality. People don't care if you are truly good. They care if you seem good. They don't judge your intentions, only your image. That means to hold influence and earn respect, you must wear the mask of virtue, while maintaining control beneath it. Look at the most successful people you know. Do you think they rose to power by being endlessly nice? Of course not. They got there by being intelligent about when, how, and to whom they showed their kindness. They smile in public but make the tough calls behind closed doors. They show compassion when it benefits them, and strength when it matters most. They know that the illusion of virtue often carries more power than virtue itself. This isn't about pretending. It's about being intentional. Think of it this way. A surgeon may have to cut you open to save your life. Is that cruelty? No. It is necessary pain for a greater purpose. True leaders understand that real goodness sometimes looks harsh in the moment. Sometimes helping someone means denying them. Sometimes protecting your people requires making unpopular decisions. The mask of virtue isn't about lying, it is about timing. It is about knowing when to reveal your gentleness and when to reveal your strength. Most people confuse this. They expose weakness to their enemies and hide strength from their allies. The wise do the opposite. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few truly know what you are." He knew perception shapes reality. People see you as weak, you become weak. If they see you as powerful, you become powerful. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my image. Number 4. The economics of power. Every single choice you make carries a cost. Every favor you offer, every yes you give when your heart desperately wants to say no, every hour you spend lifting others instead of building yourself, it all drains your reserves. Most good-hearted people never consider this. They give endlessly until there is nothing left to give. Then they are left wondering why they feel empty, bitter, and exploited. Here is the reality. Your time, your focus, and your energy are limited resources. When you pour your time and energy into others, you are left with less for yourself. Recognizing this isn't selfish, it is simple logic. Endless kindness eventually empties your strength. And when you are depleted, you cannot truly help anyone, not even yourself. Think about the safety instructions on an airplane. They tell you to secure your own oxygen mask first, then assist others. Why? Because if you faint while helping someone else, now both of you are in danger. Life operates the same way. When you exhaust yourself trying to support everyone, you end up becoming the one who needs saving. You shift from being an asset to becoming a burden. Wise people understand that survival and success depend on protecting their energy and resources. That doesn't make you unkind, it makes you sustainable. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I agreed to everything, every favor, every quick request that turned into hours of work. I thought I was being a good person. But guess what happened? I began to feel resentment. I grew frustrated, drained, and angry. My own dreams were delayed, my goals forgotten. Ironically, I became less capable of helping the people who genuinely needed me. That's when I realized something vital. Saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. And when you neglect yourself, you eventually fail everyone else too. The most generous people in history weren't the ones who agreed to every request. They were the ones who said no to most things so they could say yes to the right ones with full power. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." You cannot command others if you do not have control over your own time, focus, and energy. You cannot lead anyone until you have learned to lead yourself. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my resources. Number 5. The strategic use of virtue. I'm not telling you to be cold-hearted. I'm not suggesting you abandon mercy, honesty, or generosity. What I am saying is this: your virtues must be applied with precision, like a skilled warrior uses a weapon at the right moment. A sword resting on a shelf protects no one, but in the hands of a capable fighter, it can defend an entire kingdom. Your goodness should function the same way. When you help someone, do it with intention. When you show mercy, make it purposeful. When you are generous, ensure it leads to meaningful results. Here is an example: instead of helping everyone a little, help the right people a lot. Instead of being kind to everyone equally, be exceptionally kind to those who truly matter. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes powerfully to what aligns with your mission. This approach does 3 key things. First, your help becomes valuable because it is rare. Second, your efforts create a deeper impact because they are focused. Third, people respect you more because your time and kindness carry weight. Think about history's most respected leaders. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't soft with injustice. He confronted it with strength and strategy. Mother Teresa didn't try to save the entire world. She devoted herself to the poorest of the poor. They were both deeply good, but their goodness was strategic. They used virtue as a tool to create transformation, not as a means to please everyone. So, how can you do this in real life? Before saying yes to any request, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Does this align with my values and long-term goals? Can I do this without draining my energy? Will this person truly value and respect my effort? If the answer to any of these questions is a no, do not just say no. Say it kindly but confidently. And when you do say yes, give it your full attention. Put in your best work. Deliver real results. Make your yes count. That way your agreements hold weight. Your help stands out. Your generosity builds respect instead of dependency. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What he meant is simple. Sometimes keeping your word to one person requires breaking it with another. Sometimes being good to your family means being firm at work. Sometimes protecting your dreams means disappointing people who misuse your time. Strategic virtue isn't selfish, it's smart. It's about being effective. Number 7. Results over intentions. The world doesn't care about your intentions, it measures your outcomes. You might have the kindest heart and the best motives in the world, but if your actions don't produce results, none of it matters. History doesn't celebrate people who simply meant well. It remembers those who made things happen. Let me ask you this: would you rather be remembered as someone kind but ineffective, or as someone who seemed tough but genuinely made the world better? Most people pick the first because it feels safe and comfortable. But here is what they miss: being remembered as merely nice means not being remembered at all. There is a harsh but undeniable truth. Sometimes real goodness requires actions that don't look good in the moment. Surface-level kindness offers temporary comfort, while hard choices create lasting change. A parent who disciplines a child isn't being cruel, they are being responsible. A teacher who gives strict grades isn't being harsh, they are preparing students for reality. A boss who sets high expectations isn't being unfair. They are helping their team reach their potential. Real goodness is about results, not appearances. It's about creating genuine progress, not just pleasant feelings. This is where most good people fail. They focus on being liked instead of being impactful. They choose ease over growth. They prefer temporary harmony over long-term improvement. But here is the truth. If your goodness isn't producing results, it's not real goodness. It's just being nice. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people solve it. Nice people say what others want to hear. Good people say what they need to hear. Nice people maintain comfort. Good people inspire change. The world is full of nice people who achieve nothing. What it truly needs are good people who deliver results. Machiavelli once said, "The end justifies the means." That doesn't mean you should do evil for a good cause. It means your good intentions are meaningless if they don't create positive outcomes. People don't live inside your heart. They live with the impact of your actions. So remember this, genuine goodness takes courage. It requires you to value results over recognition. Stop asking, "Will they like me?" and start asking, "Will this actually make things better?" In the end, people won't recall your intentions. They will remember what you built, what you changed, and what you left behind. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I focus on outcomes. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What he really meant was this: respect matters more than affection, impact matters more than popularity, and results matter more than feelings. You do not have to choose between being good and being strong. You can and should be both. But if you ever must choose strength first. Because only strength gives you the power to protect your goodness when it counts. Weakness, no matter how kind, only turns you into a victim. We have covered a lot today, but here is the ultimate lesson. Goodness without strategy is dangerous. It makes you an easy target for manipulation. It drains your energy until you have nothing left. It traps you in expectations you can never sustain. And in the end, it stops you from making the positive impact you were meant to create. But goodness with strategy, that is different. That is power. That is influence. That is survival with purpose. When you pair goodness with wisdom, it becomes your greatest weapon. The kind that builds empires, heals others, and leaves a legacy that matters. So before you leave this video, ask yourself, are you going to keep being good in the old way, blindly, endlessly, and without boundaries until it destroys you? Or will you start being strategically good, focused, aware, and powerful enough to protect your light in a dark world? The choice is yours. Will you let your goodness weaken you, or will you master it and turn it into strength? If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button. If you want more truth that challenges how you see the world, subscribe and ring the bell. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Your goodness is not your weakness. When used with strategy, it becomes your greatest power. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I master strategic goodness. And remember, in a world full of wolves, don't be a sheep. Be a shepherd. Protect others, not through weakness, but through wisdom, strength, and strategy. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.